In today's Globe at Home, we're talking with a man who's made people laugh for the past 30 years. He is political satirist Barry Crimmins, and he's joined by comedy notes writer joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So Barry, you're performing at Jimmy Tingle's Off-Broadway Theater in Somerville, but
Yes.
Tomorrow night is your farewell performance?
Yes, it is. I've been riding around in circles 5 years, and so I was feeling a little dizzy and faint, so I thought I might sit still for a while and write some books.
All right, so you're just going to still make people laugh. You're just going to do it in book form.
Yes, and there's no airport check-ins at my house, and that's really really a lot of fun.
Now, when you first got to this scene, it was 1979. You come here from upstate New York.
You bet.
And
Would you like me to use the accent? It's very sophisticated, you know. It's the flattened sound of it's the defeated tone. You know what does it? The weather. 193 inches of snow last year. I'm just going to sit in my house and work on my alcoholism until I can get the door open again. So that's where I'm from.
So for those unfamiliar with the Ding Ho scene, which you booked the action, had a big part in, how would you describe that for them?
Well, the statute of limitations is run on everything, so it was a lot. We would just say we had a lot of fun of every sort. It was, you know, we worked hard and we played hard, and sometimes we did them both at the same time. And so it was great. It was hip. It was underground. Comedy was new. It hadn't been, you know, taken over by corporate interests yet, and we had just such an amazing amount of talent here in Boston. It was just amazing to work with those guys, and I was so excited being from upstate New York. I came to Boston and I went, wow, they're in the American League, you know. So I was very excited to be here.
Barry, you've been poking fun at everybody from Richard Nixon on to President Bush. Who's been your favorite? Who's given you the most material to work with?
Well, the current bonanza, I mean, you just can't. I'm really quitting during a peak period, although anybody can write a joke. You know, I mean, of course you have to do a joke about Bush, you know, his intellect. You can't pass those up. But there's a lot more policy and so on to comment on. But this has been, these people are, I mean, it's an amazing administration. They're like cockroaches that don't care when you turn the light on. Hey, we're eating here. So, you know, it's been a real heyday for me, but I won't miss them.
Have you ever heard from, I'm sorry, have you ever heard from any of the politicians you've satirized?
Indirectly, I have. I've heard from some of their representatives over the years, and we have exchanges, and it's usually, I usually reply to them by saying something like, well, thank you very much for writing. Usually I have to make this stuff up.
Well, tomorrow part of the show, there's going to be a second show after your official retirement show.
And you know, a fun thing we're doing tomorrow night for the first show, my show, is we're going to have a suggestion box outside, and anybody that's been to my shows before that wants to suggest old material, I will, if I can remember it, I'll do it. And then we're doing a late show, and I'm trying to kind of leave as I entered, but we're going to put some, you know, some of the young, bright comics, and it'll be one last time I introduce some people, maybe to some people they haven't worked with. And of course, tomorrow night, at the first show, the great Jim Infantino is opening for me, playing an acoustic set of the band Jim's Big Ego.
So you have a couple of projects you're maybe working on into retirement. Do you have any details, anything you'd like to mention?
Well, I bought a series of several runaway truck ramps in the Kansas and Nebraska area, and I think they're really, you know, there's almost no competition, so that's looking really good. And I'm working on a book, two books actually. One is Coping with Your Dog's Bisexuality, and then the other one is Drug Interaction, the Frugal Junkie's Best Friend. So we're hoping both those projects take off.
Clearly best sellers. But you, don't you always tell your audiences, so, hey, if you didn't vote, you have no right to complain?
Yeah, you know, I never told them that. I actually said I could get up and complain all day. Have you seen a ballot lately? That's the first thing you could complain about. We have one more party in this country than Nazi Germany had. So sometimes there's reasons, you know, it isn't the worst thing in the world to not to actually withdraw your consent and pretend that this bought and paid for system is, if you choose the right of two choices of rich guys, that you know that you've done something terrible. But we need public servants. We don't need leaders.
All right, and again, Barry Crimmins is performing tomorrow night at Jimmy Tingle's Comedy Showcase. It's his farewell appearance. For more information, check out jtoffbroadway.net. NECN.com. Best of luck to you, Barry, and thanks so much. I appreciate you both joining us.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.